Hello everyone, my name is Doji Dodul and today I'll be presenting on the article Moderation Effects of Language Skills, Presidential Tenure and Education on Immigrants Learning from News. And here is my overview of my presentation. To begin my presentation, I will start with research aim. The primary aim of this research is to investigate how language skills, residential tenure and education levels collectively moderate the relationship between immigrants' exposure to news media and their ability to comprehend and learn from news content. Research problems and gaps in knowledge. So the limited understanding of immigrant news and comprehension. There is a gap in our understanding of how immigrants who may have come from diverse linguistic and educational backgrounds engage with and comprehend news media. So this lack of knowledge poses a significant problem as it hinders our ability to address the information needs and integration experiences of immigrants' population effectively. The role of language skills. Language skills are crucial for immigrants in understanding and interacting with the new environment, including news media. However, the specific ways in which language skills influence immigrants' news comprehension and whether they moderate the impact of news exposure of learning from the news remain unclear. Residential tenure and education. Residential tenure, that is how long immigrants have been residing in their host country, and education levels are likely to play important roles in shaping immigrants' exposure to news and their ability to process and learn from it. However, the interplay between these variables and their moderating effects on news learning is not well explored. Implications for immigrants' integration. So the understanding the moderation effects of language skills, residential tenure, and education on news learning is critical for informing policies and interventions aimed at improving immigrants' integration. So without this knowledge, I think it is challenging to design effective strategies to enhance immigrants' media literacy and promote informed civic participation. So in this slide, I'll be talking about the major theories and concepts used in the case study. There are two theories used, and they are firstly agenda setting theory. So in the context of this study, agenda setting theory is relevant because it helps us understand how news exposure influences immigrants' perception of important issues. So by examining whether and how language skills, residential tenure, and education levels moderate the relationship between news exposure and immigrants' news comprehension, the research can shed light on how the media agenda setting functions impact the immigration's populations. And second one is cultivation theory. The cultivation theory is pertinent to this study because it allows for an examination of the long-term impact of news consumption on immigrants worldwide. So by considering how language skills, residential tenure, and education levels moderate the relationship between news exposure and news comprehension, the research can assess whether immigrants' exposure to news media influences their perceptions of the host society, and whether these effects vary based on individual characteristics. So incorporating these theories into the research provides a theoretical framework for understanding how news exposure and comprehension are influenced by language skills, residential tenure, and education levels among immigrants. So it helps to contextualize the study's finding within the broader literature on media effects and provides insight into the potential mechanisms through which these variables may interact to shape immigrants' experience with news media. So now the research methodology or design. So in this the research method uses quantitative cross-sectional study. So this research employs a quantitative approach, specifically a cross-sectional study design. So cross-sectional studies collect data at a single point in time from a diverse group of participants, and it allows researchers to examine relationship and differences among variables at that specific moment. The chosen quantitative design is appropriate for addressing the research questions and hypotheses. It allows for the systematic collection of data from a large and diverse sample of immigrants, which enables the statistical analysis to assess relationship and moderation effects between the language skills, tenure, residential tenure, and education levels, news exposure, and news comprehension. So the data collection methods used are sampling, data units, and data analysis. The sampling, the research involves random sampling of immigrants from diverse backgrounds. So random sampling helps ensure that the selected participant represent a broad range of immigrants population, reducing the potential for selection bias and increasing the generalizability of the findings. Data units. Data collection primarily they rely on structured questionnaires. Immigrants participating in the study are asked to respond to a set of standardized questions designed to gather information about their language skills, residential data education levels, news exposure habits, and news comprehension. Now the data analysis. The collected data are like subjected to regression analysis. So regression analysis is a statistical technique that allows researchers to examine how independent variables, like in this case language skills, residential data education levels, how they influence a dependent variable like news comprehension, while controlling for potential confounding factors. So this analysis method is well suited for assessing moderation effects, which is a key objective of the study. Now in this slide, I'll be discussing on research methods and methodological approaches. This chosen research design aligns well with the research questions and hypotheses. A quantitative cross-sectional approach is suitable for examining moderation effects, which is one of the primary objectives of the study. So it allows for the systematic collection of data to investigate how language skills, residential tenure, and education levels moderate the relationship between news exposure and news comprehension among the immigrants. So some of the limitations and challenges in the faced by the immigrants are recruiting a representative sample. One of the challenges faced in this study is the recruitment of the representative sample. It is essential to ensure that the sample reflects the diversity of immigrants population to generalize findings effectively. So recruitment difficulties can potentially introduce bias if certain immigrants groups are overrepresented or underrepresented. Potential bias due to self-reported data. The reliance on self-reported data, particularly among regarding the language skills, news comprehension, they may introduce response bias. So immigrants participants might provide socially desirable response or they may not accurately assess their language proficiency or news comprehension abilities. Sample selection and research sites. The sampling method employed in the research aims to ensure the diversity among participants. However, the challenges in the recruitment may affect the representativeness of the sample. It's important to acknowledge the representatives of the sample that can impact the generalizability of the study's finding to the broader immigrants population. Validity and reliability. The research acknowledges the importance of validity and reliability. So validity is assessed using established survey measures, which helps ensure that the questionnaire items effectively capture the intended constructs of interest. So additionally, reliability is addressed through test and retest methods, enhancing the consistency of the data collected over time. Ethical consideration. They are also essential part of the research methodology. The study adheres to ethical principles by obtaining informed consent from participant, ensuring anonymity to protect their privacy, and implementing data protection measures. These ethical safeguards they are crucial when conducting research involving human participant. Alternative methods. While the chosen quantitative approach is well suited for assessing the moderation effects and relationships between variables, it's important to recognize that alternative methods could provide complementary insights. For instance, qualitative interviews could offer a deeper understanding of immigrants' experience with news media, so which can allow the researchers to explore the nuances and the context surrounding news consumption and comprehension. So, like, however, qualitative methods come with their own set of limitations, including reduced generalizability compared to quantitative studies. And now, the discussions on results. The study's findings are likely to be generalizable to immigrants in similar contexts or countries that share comparable immigrants patterns, media landscapes, and socio-demographic characteristics. While the specific findings may not apply universally, they offer valuable insights into the dynamics of news comprehension among immigrants' population. The study results have significant implications for immigrants' news comprehension and integration experiences. And I've mentioned three of them in here. Firstly, language skills. So strong language skills are like crucial for immigrants to understand and engage with news effectively. So policymakers and educators should invest in language acquisition programs to enhance linguistic abilities. Education. Higher education levels contribute to better news comprehension by providing critical thinking skills and background knowledge. Improving educational access for immigrants indirectly enhances media literacy. Residential tenure. The long-term residents, they tend to have better grasp of the socio-political context in news. The integration program should offer long-term support, recognizing its positive impact on news comprehension. So here are my discussion questions, and thank you all for listening to me. Thank you.